And from taking the stand to taking the plunge, a Toronto gay couple is getting married this weekend, determined to have that union formally recognized by the Ontario government, even if it means a lengthy court battle. Global's Gus Kim joins us now with that story. And Gus, any pre-wedding jitters tonight?
Well, actually, Jackie, quite a few. They know their wedding is drawing international attention. The two are feeling stressed, but also excited.
Do you think you're going to be able to hold that finger still enough for me to get this on?
I have no idea.
They love each other intensely, and with these rings in just 4 days, Joe Varnell and Kevin Bourassa will get married and perhaps make Canadian history.
It's one thing to prepare for a wedding under normal circumstances. I think you could appreciate we would be very nervous if it was just an ordinary wedding. But under these circumstances, it's incredible for us.
Come Sunday, the Toronto couple won't be singing in the pews. They'll be standing at the altar in what they call Canada's first legal gay marriage. They've invoked the ancient Christian ritual of publicly announcing their impending marriage 3 weeks in a row as a way to get a license.
The church, after having read the banns, has the power to issue a marriage license. And when the church does that, from that moment, you are legally married. The distinction is that it will not yet be registered.
I object. Some disagree it's even legal. And Consumer Affairs Minister Bob Runciman has already said he won't register the marriage. But the couple says the wedding will go on and will be followed by not a honeymoon, but perhaps a lawsuit.
We'll be forced to pursue the protection of the courts for our human rights.
This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And in the ideal world, the province of Ontario would show leadership and simply say, we can understand that that's the same dream that any married couple would like, and register the license without question.
And without question, it's going to be quite a ceremony. A lesbian couple will also be wed in the same service. At least 1,000 people are slated to attend, and that's not including the media coverage. Jackie?
Okay, thank you, Gus. The eyes of the world turn to Toronto this weekend. A local church will be the scene for a history-making marriage ceremony. Mike Wise joins me now with details on this world first. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Carol. World first, a gay marriage. Actually, 2 of them, in fact. Now, in Vermont, civil unions between same-sex couples are allowed, and in the Netherlands, there's legislation allowing same-sex marriages. It doesn't take effect until next month, though. So on Sunday, when 2 couples, one gay, one lesbian, get legally married, they'll be making world history.
It's funny, too, to see the before and then the after.
Kevin Bourassa and Joe Varnell are one of the couples making the big leap, both into the next stage of their lives together and into the history books. Although they say they never planned the last part.
There's been a lot of words used about, activist, pioneer. We're none of those. We're simply an ordinary couple trying to express our love and get married and then come home to live our lives.
At the church, forget about trying to figure out who's sitting where. The biggest challenge is where to place the 14 TV cameras and dozen of international journalists coming to cover the 2 marriages. While the law doesn't allow a civil wedding ceremony here in Ontario, there's nothing preventing a church from publishing bans for a same-sex couple. Last month, the senior pastor here read out their names in public for 3 weekends in a row. Enough, he says, to satisfy the legal requirements for marriage in Ontario.
Under the publication of the bans, I have the authority on behalf of the government to determine whether there is any legal impediment. And in this case, there isn't. In both of these cases, there isn't. And so on Sunday, when I sign those documents, I will give them the license and they are legally married.
Now, in addition to preparing for the ceremony, Kevin and Joe are being deluged with interview requests. They're reluctantly happy to be pushing the boundaries, hoping their efforts can make this easier for other same-sex couples.
I understand that there are people who don't agree with me. That's fine for them not to agree with me. They don't have to accept me. All I'm asking is that they don't discriminate against me with their views and actions.
We dream for a better day when there will be no cameras when one person is married, other than the videographer that's been hired for the day.
No shortage of wedding cameras at this wedding. Now, they will be sharing the ceremony with a lesbian couple as well, 2 wedding ceremonies at the same time. They do face one more obstacle, though. The Registrar General in Ontario, Bob Runciman, has said he won't register this. They will legally still be married. They won't be officially registered. That could cause some legal problems for them down the road. And Carol, they're saying if they are not registered, they will mount a legal challenge and take it all the way to the Supreme Court if they have to.
All right, Mike, is anybody saying that Ontario, Toronto will be a mecca for gay marriages after this?
Not really. There have been a lot of requests for this, but this is
it takes place within a church service. You know, you have to be a member of the parish to have your names read out in the bands, and you can't just show up.
Not like Vegas.
Not like Vegas.
All
no.
right, Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you.